All right. Here we go. Hey guys, thanks for joining the Zoom call. This is the first step in becoming an umpire here for Over the Plate. My name is Cara, and I own Over the Plate Umpires with Jeff, my husband, Jeff Nelson, and you're going to see his name a lot around here. And we're going to have some more information about how to get a hold of him a little bit later in the call. I like to start out these calls with the number one most important thing that you need to know about being an umpire here, okay? And the number one thing is when we get to the app and I show you how to create your calendar and block the days and times you can't work, you have to understand that if you show that you're available, you will 100% accept the assignments that you get on the times that you choose to show available. Okay? That means if you forgot to block and you have to cancel plans, we had a couple guys in the fall that showed available, so we assigned them, and they declined their assignments because they had haircuts. They don't work here anymore. We've had people decline games because they're going to the lake. They don't work here anymore. We have to have availability, and we have to have you, when you show us that you're available, that's you keeping your word to us that you are available and that you will accept assignments, okay? Unless you are sick, injured, or have a funeral to go to. Okay, those are really the only three reasons to decline an assignment. And if you have another reason that seems to you like an emergency, you can talk to Jeff about it and he can let you know, okay? And the reason that we have to do it like this is we have about 300 umpires at all times. We schedule hundreds and hundreds of games every week, sometimes 1,000 in a week. We look at where you live, what level of umpire experience you have, what age groups you're capable of doing. If you have a brother on a team or you have a dad coaching a team, we try to keep you away from that. What else? We look at whether it's tournament or rec, just whatever suits you. If you've had a conflict with a coach and you need to cool off and not be around that coach for a couple of weeks, we take that into consideration. So there are a lot of things we take into consideration when we assign these games. And of course, we try to keep you as close to home as possible. Now, if you forget to block, and let's say you have family dinner and you're like, nope, I can't work tonight because I have family dinner, which is not an excuse not to work. But if you do that, you either don't work here anymore or it puts you at the bottom of the list and you may or may not ever get assigned again. Okay. But if you decline, what happens is it takes Jeff 30 minutes to an hour to reassign your time because he has to figure out who else has your capability, who else has your skills, who else lives close. If nobody else lives close, he's got to move people from the closest park to your park and then reassign their games. So it's a huge, massive deal if you decline a game. And of course, if you are sick, injured, and or have a funeral, we factor in about 2 of those a week because out of 300 umpires, we have about 2 legitimate illnesses, injuries, or funerals a week, and that's all. Okay, we don't have 30. We don't have time for 30. If there are 30, it takes Jeff 15 to 30 extra hours a week to reassign games. We can't do that. We had more declines this past fall than we've ever had to have. Jeff worked an extra 120 plus hours in the fall. I stopped counting after 120 plus hours in the fall because people did not keep their word. And if you don't keep your word as an umpire, I mean, that's a huge thing. If you're not going to keep your word as an umpire, how do you expect other people to keep their word? Okay. So that has to happen. I like to tell people it's not like, when you go into Chick-fil-A and there's about 20 people working there. Well, if one guy has to call off, you're still going to get your chicken. But umpiring's not like that. If we have to have 2 people on a field, we have to have 2 people on a field. And if we don't have 2 people on the field, we risk losing that business and it loses jobs for a bunch of umpires. And we're not willing to do that. Okay. We have to have people be responsible. We have to have people keep their word. We have to have people accept their jobs when they say that they're available. Now, you are totally responsible for your calendar. So I'm not going to go in there and say, hey, you have to work on Friday when you blocked Friday off. Okay. There's those kinds of scenarios too. So you're in charge of it. So you have to keep up your calendar and you have to work when you promise to work. Okay. Now, if that's something that you need to discuss with your family, I completely understand. I've been working for 40, let's see, how old am I? I've been working for 40 years. I've had to miss a whole lot of things because because work is a commitment. Okay. So just please keep that in mind. We've got people that, towards the end of the spring, they'll think about scheduling things on the weekend, scheduling things at the lake, and they might push it out until after baseball season is over with, because we also only have until June. We just have a little window in the spring till June to make money, and then we have another little window in the fall to make money. So if that's your goal, then you might want to keep that in mind as well, because we go into either the third or fourth week of June this season, and then we won't have any other umpiring until end of August, beginning of September. Okay, so you might want to keep that in mind as well. All right. Okay, so I'm going to show you. Oh, and also, if you guys have any questions, you can put them in the chat and I'll answer questions at the end. But if you're like me, if I'm saying something and you think about a question, go ahead and type it in the chat so that you don't forget, okay? And if you're thinking, I'm not sure if I should ask this question, please ask it, because chances are other people are thinking the same thing, all right? Okay, so I'm gonna go to let me get here, our over the plate boot camp. And we call this boot camp because we go very, very quickly and there's a whole lot of information. So be sure that you're taking notes. There will be times where things are going to go step by step, and I will alert you to that, so you can write step 1, do this, step 2, do this, so that we can get those good notes in. Okay. All right, so Over the Plate is owned by Jeff and myself. We provide umpires for rec, select, and tournament ball in the North Texas area. We also provide referees for recreational basketball in the winter and summer during the baseball off seasons. So if you're interested in that, you can get with Jeff about that. And we'll have his phone number on the screen here in a little bit. We run tournaments in the North Texas area side by side with Keep Calm and Baseball On, which is owned by Tracy Black, and Jeff and Tracy do a lot of baseball business together around here. We provide you umpire training. So we don't charge you for training. You'll see a lot of opportunities around the Metroplex to pay to go be trained. We don't make you pay. You also don't get paid while you're training, but it is necessary to be the best umpire that you can be. And also, people will say, well, I've already been to training. Always go to as many trainings as you possibly can. Our umpires that have been here for 20 and 30 years will tell you the same thing. They always go to trainings as well, okay? And this is your job. So if you're a minor, I don't talk to your parents about your job, okay? I'm not going to call them and discuss what happened on the field. I'm not going to call them and discuss your schedule. But also, if you have questions, you need to be the one asking questions, not your parents, okay? We have to know that you can communicate with us properly so that we can put you on fields and communicate with coaches and parents and all the other people that are going to be out there at the park, all right? I have had a little bit of communication with parents in the past. One mom called me on a Friday night in the fall because her son was in the emergency room. He had games the next day. Of course, I appreciated that. I had a mom call me last summer. I was trying to get a hold of her son, and he had left his phone at home and he was at church camp. So obviously that was appreciated as well. But other than the little one-off things, the communication needs to be between you and us. If there is a tax question and it's best for your parent to ask, I don't mind that at all. But I highly, highly suggest that you be on the phone with us, or that it be an email between all of us or something like that, so that you get in the loop with tax questions as well. Our website is otpumpires.com. That is very, very important. And you guys can take screenshots or pictures of all this stuff that I'm going to show you. Just if you're like me, that's kind of an easier way to kind of organize some things sometimes, okay? We have a Facebook and an Instagram under Over the Plate Baseball LLC. I highly suggest that you join one or both of those. If you don't have Facebook or Instagram, you can have a parent or significant other join on your behalf. If they are going to join, you need to text me and let me know the name of the person that I'm looking for that's joining for you, because these are both closed groups, so I have to let people in one at a time. I have a whole list of people on Facebook and Instagram whose names I don't recognize, and nobody has told me I'm expecting them, so they're just sitting there. We will look at those Facebooks and Instagrams in a few minutes. But also, what we do on Facebook and Instagram a lot of times is we put last minute opportunities that come up. Like, I know we got a call this morning for umpires this afternoon. Well, if that's the case, we usually put it on Facebook and Instagram first, unless it's a high school game. High school games, we have our handful of umpires that can usually go out and do those pretty easily. But if it's something over in close to where you live and your parent sees it on Instagram, or Facebook, they can say, hey, my son so-and-so or my daughter so-and-so can do that. And then it's up to you to contact Jeff or I to let us know that you're available and that you can go do those games. And if they're not already full, then we will get you coordinated to do those. The don'ts of working for over the plate. Number one, the number one thing is don't get grounded. In the past, I've had a couple of guys get grounded, and I didn't know until they didn't show up at the field because they didn't have a phone, they didn't have a vehicle to get to the field, because when you get grounded, your car and or your phone go first. So we don't need that here. So you know what's expected at home, you know what's expected at school. So now's the time to rise to the occasion and be sure that you are not getting grounded. If you're having trouble with your grades, absolutely take the time off. Grades are more important than umpiring. So what you need to do is you just say, hey, Cara, chemistry is really tough right now. I need to take a couple weeks off. You block your calendar. You'll let me know. And I say, absolutely, go study for chemistry. That's more important. So, but stay ahead of your grades so that that doesn't happen, so that the groundings don't happen, okay? And don't be on time. We never do anything on time around here. We are always early, so please keep that in mind. If you're one of those people that's always right on time or late, then this isn't for you. So you've got to be early. And then don't be negative. Baseball is the greatest game. It's the most fun, and we want to help all of our customers who are our coaches, fans, the players themselves. We want to help everybody have a great time. All right, before the game, you will accept your assignments in Arbiter, and you want to accept them very quickly, within about 24 hours. I don't expect you to be accepting things during a meeting or during a math test or anything, but within at least 24 hours. Always be looking at your Arbiter at least once a day. You want to text or call your partner if you have a partner. If you're on some young coach pitch games, you might not have a partner, but if you have a partner, you need to get with them about 48 hours before the game, decide what color uniform you're going to wear, where to meet at the park, and know the rules for the park. Some parks have a few different rules, like time limits and run rules and different things like that. Your uniform is expected to be clean and wrinkle free, and that is your responsibility. Okay, it comes with having the job. You gotta make sure your uniform is always nice. You want to pack plenty of water and food in a cooler, especially for the long Saturday and Sunday games. Or Saturdays and Sundays when you have multiple games. A lot of our parks have concession stands. I run the concession stand at Bakersfield Park here in Flower Mound, and I don't always open the concession stand if we only have 2 games on a Tuesday night, or if we only have 4 games on a Sunday. I won't open the concession stand. Now, also different concession stands do different pricing. Sometimes they give their umpires free food. Sometimes it's half price. Sometimes it's full price, and you never know until you get to the park. Always be gracious about that. We had a couple of umpires argue with me a couple years ago when we were charging umpires half price for food, and they don't work here anymore. So you always have to be sure that you're polite to everybody, that you're respectful, because you're representing over the plate. And that doesn't go for just on the field, it goes for everywhere. It goes for school, Chick-fil-A, church, Walmart, wherever you go, you got to be sure, because you're going to start being noticed where you live. So you want to be sure that you're always representing yourself and over the plate the best way you can. Get a good night's sleep. Those Saturdays and Sundays can be long, so be sure Friday night, Saturday night, you're getting to sleep nice and early and you're well rested for the next day. And again, don't be on time. We only do things early here at Over the Plate. Timeline of arrival. You want to arrive at the park 25 to 30 minutes before your first game. You want to meet up with your partner, walk to the field together, and arrive at the field 10 to 15 minutes before the first game. And at that time, you should be introducing yourself to coaches, fans, players. And you want to be sure that when you're there, of course, you have a good attitude, you have a happy smile. If you've had a tough day, sometimes you just got to fake it and you got to smile and get through it, like we've all had to do. When you're interacting with the fans, you want to keep in mind that you want to get them on your side. So being early and being nice and neat and having a good attitude and saying hello, that gets them on your side, okay? So that will help the game go smoother. The game, you will get training. Okay, we already did cage training, so you will get training on the field. You will learn about the plate meeting. When you do the plate meeting, you have one coach from each team attend the plate meeting. Typically the head coach. If for some reason the head coach isn't there, an assistant can participate in the plate meeting, but that is the only coach on that team that you talk to for the duration of the game. So if another coach has a question for you, the coach from the plate meeting needs to be asking it. If you've got a question for the team, you need to be asking the actual coach that came to the plate meeting, okay? Also, you want to realize that when you are standing behind the plate and you're saying stuff, your voice is being carried out over center field. And the baseball moms behind you really want to hear what you're saying. So if you hear them start saying, "Hey, Blue, what was that call?" You know that you're not quite being loud enough. And sometimes it sounds uncomfortably loud, but trust me, they want to hear what you're saying. You want to encourage everybody, the coaches, the players, the fans, and stay professional. This is your job, your field. You are controlling the game, so you want to stay professional the whole time, even if things get a little heated. Leaving the field. If you're going to leave the field between games, let the two coaches for the next game know. Because if they look around and they don't see you, within 5 to 10 minutes before the game starts, they're going to be calling Jeff, okay? And you don't want to start a game like that because then the coach is like, "Oh, great, the umpire's late." So that kind of starts at negative. So be super early. If you've done your last game and there's another game after yours, wait until the next umpire crew is there. If they're not there at least 15 minutes before the next game is supposed to start, you be the one to call Jeff, and he'll get a hold of them and he'll say, "Oh, they're in the parking lot, or they're walking down to the field," or whatever the case, and then he'll let you know that you can go. All right, Arbiter, that's the app we talked about. Don't go downloading it yet. I'm going to show you in a few minutes exactly which app it is because it's a little confusing because there's two different ones that it looks like it could possibly be. Okay, again, you've got to block your dates that you are unavailable. Reasons to block are school activities, tutoring, studying, planned activities, like if you've got something going on at church, if you've got a family dinner, if you got your aunt's 50th birthday party, block those times on Arbiter. You also have to have plenty of availability. So if you can only work like one weeknight, 2 hours on the weekend, then this isn't something for you. So you need to be having availability during the week and most of the time on weekends. Watch your app, email, and text daily. And again, accept your games very quickly. If you move, get a new phone number or a new email, please update your Arbiter information immediately when that happens. Uniforms, we have details on our website under umpire gear, and we will look at that again in a few minutes. We will look at that together in a few minutes. Conflict resolution. Okay, here's says only talk to head coaches. These are the coaches that were at the plate meeting, and be respectful. De-escalate any heated situations. Sometimes coaches just want to ask you if there's a close call. They want to ask you what you saw so that they can use that information at their next practice. So keep that in mind. If a resolution doesn't happen, you warn the head coach only, whether it's a parent, a player, or another coach. You warn hey coach, see that guy over there? If he doesn't stop, he's going to have to leave. Okay. And if it doesn't stop, you eject him immediately. If you have a parent behind you that just won't be quiet, hey, coach, see this parent behind me in the blue shirt? If they keep talking, they're going to have to go. Not another word from them. And unfortunately, according to the rules, if I toss them, it says I'm supposed to toss you. And I know neither one of us want that to happen. So always try to keep the coach on your side, even if you have these kinds of situations. If you have to say that to a coach, usually either one or two things will happen. He'll say, got it, Blue, I'll take care of that. You won't hear another word. Or they could say, hey, that parent's been like that for 2 whole weeks. Can you just eject them and I can say, absolutely. Sure, coach, we can. I understand and I appreciate that. We can work that out. So if you have an ejection, you need to text Jeff immediately. Say, hey, Jeff, Field 1, Bakersfield Cardinals coach, I ejected him for saying whatever cuss word he said, or because he wouldn't be quiet, or whatever happened. Okay, quick, just a super quick text. And then immediately after the game, text Jeff the details. And you can also, of course, involve your other umpire if you have a partner whenever you need to. Oops. All right, payroll. This is the important part, right? Okay, we have a payroll policy on otpumpires.com. We're going to go over that together in a little bit. I must have a W-9 on file. That is a federal law from the IRS. So you have to have a W-9 on file to work for us so that we can pay you. We only pay 2 ways. We pay PayPal or check, PayPal or check, PayPal or check only. We don't use Venmo. We don't use Cash App. We don't use Arbiter Pay. We don't use Zelle. We only use PayPal or check. And for some reason, when I say this, After every Zoom call, I have somebody ask me, hey, do you use Zelle? No, absolutely not. If it's not PayPal or check, we don't use it. So keep that in mind, write that down, memorize it, only PayPal or check. Now, if you put on your application that you want to check, every check has a $3 fee deducted from it because it is very expensive to write a check. If you want to change to PayPal, you certainly can. That's fine. If you don't have a PayPal, but your parent or your significant other has a PayPal, we can use theirs too. They won't get a 1099. You'll still get the 1099 because that's a question that parents have sometimes. What you do is you just email me the PayPal user ID and I can get that handled for you. We have yearly dues of $50. What those dues pay for is it pays for insurance. We have to pay for your Arbiter app on our end, so it pays for that. It pays for processing W-9s, processing 1099s, all that good stuff in the back office that you don't see. I've looked around at other umpire organizations. The next lowest cost I found is there's another umpire organization that charges $80 a year. The rest of them charge in the hundreds of dollars a year for their dues. Okay, so we work very hard to keep your dues low around here. And part of that is you accepting your games and not declining them. All right, when it's not an emergency. 5-star review. So you want to look at your job as how can I make this a 5-star situation? That doesn't mean you're perfect. That just means that you resolve things professionally. You keep the game going. You eject people when you need to eject them. Because I will tell you, if you have to eject a coach for saying a bad word, and you were early, and you were polite, and you were dressed well, and you made eye contact, and you spoke to the baseball moms, and you have to toss a coach for cussing, they're going to call Jeff, and they're going to say, Jeff, that was the best umpire you sent us. Our coach cussed, and he tossed him as soon as he did, and that was excellent. But if you show up late or 2 minutes before the game and you're wrinkled and you have a bad attitude and you don't say hi to everybody and you have to toss a coach for cussing, the baseball moms are going to call Jeff and they're going to say, Jeff, I don't know who this guy was you sent us. He was horrible. Okay, so it all seriously depends on your first impression on when you get to the field. So keep that in mind. All right, contact information. Here's our contact information. Again, there's our website, Facebook and Instagram. So join that if you have that or have someone else join it for you. There's Jeff's phone number and email address, and there is my phone number and email address. So take a picture, screenshot, write this down, whatever you need to do. Jeff does the scheduling. So if you tell me, hey, if you text me, you're like, hey, Cara, just checking in. Are there any games this weekend? Hey, wondering why I haven't been scheduled. Now, if it's something on my end, like you haven't sent in your 1099, or I'm going to tell you, I told you 10 times to send in your 1099 and or W-9 and you haven't, that's why you're not scheduled. Or because you didn't get back with me about your uniform or you didn't fill out your arbiter profile. But if you've done everything on my end, I'm going to tell you to text Jeff. I'm going to say you show ready on my end. Go ahead and text Jeff because he does the scheduling. So if you've got any questions about how, the sign up process, that's me. Okay. And when we do text back and forth, I need super quick communication. There's this guy that texted me this past weekend about coming to get his hat. And I said, yes, it'll be on the porch on Saturday. He hasn't texted me back. And then I realized that he hasn't, I've texted him like 4 times in the last 5 days. And then I realized that he hasn't filled out his arbiter profile. Plus he's not responding with me. So my last text to him was like, hey, I pulled your hat off the porch. You're not communicating with me. So until you can communicate with me and get your stuff done, then after that, I'll put your hat back on the porch. So we need very quick communication. And even if it's something like, hey, I need you to do this by tomorrow, and you're like, hey, Cara, I need until the next day to do it, that's fine. Just communicate with me. All right. We're going to stop sharing that. And now we're going to, let's see. All right. Here, this is what our Facebook group looks like, or the Play Baseball LLC. It has our logo right here. So that's what you want to join, or have someone join and then text me their name. This is what our Instagram looks like. Over the Plate Baseball as all one word. And if you have a nickname as your Instagram name, text me that too so that I know who I'm looking for. Because see all these like CBA Baseball TX, I don't know who that is. Aid Gray 7. I don't know who that is. So text me your name, say, hey, or I'll have your name, but say, hey, here's my Instagram nickname that you're looking for. And that's not a problem. Okay, this is our website. And on here, actually, we're picking up more leagues. We've picked up a couple more leagues in the past week or so, so they're not all on here, but these are some of the leagues that we help out. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. Here is our payroll policy. This is what I was talking about during the slideshow. Now, here's how payment works. Our weeks run Monday through Sunday. So this past Monday, we sent out invoices to all of our leagues for all of the games from the previous Monday through Sunday. Now, they have to have time to pay us. So we get paid in 5, 6, 7, 8 days from when we send them their invoice. And then we pay you. So we ask that you allow us 10 days from that Monday for your payment. So if you worked Monday through Sunday and then the following Monday the invoices go out, you'll get paid 10 days from that Monday. 99% of the time it's sooner, okay? But if you have PayPal, you should receive your PayPal notification of funds within 10 days. If you get a check, the check will go out within 10 days, but we ask you to wait 14 days because of mail time, all right? Now, if you have not paid by then, please, please, please contact me. Or if you receive a payment and you are overpaid or underpaid, please let me know. And the way that happens is, like, for example, we had a bunch of rainouts this past week, and we have this huge spreadsheet of hundreds and hundreds of games, and we go in and we click them as rainouts. Well, if we missed something as a rainout and we paid you for that, you need to let us know, okay? Also, like if somebody got sick on a Saturday morning and you jumped in for them, and we didn't change that on our spreadsheet, and we paid the sick guy instead of you, let us know. Hopefully the sick guy will tell us that we overpaid him first. And if you don't tell us that we overpaid you, that's as much of a problem as anything else around here, okay? It's trust, it's you know, and you know, like if you're expecting a check for $100, you know, or you've got it all added up in your mind, so you'll know how much you're expecting, okay? So please keep that in mind. And then when you're underpaid, we get on that super fast. We prioritize that as something to get on, because that's not fair. It happens occasionally, and we make it right as soon as we can, okay? This is the W-9 that you have to have on file, okay? And we're gonna go, this is one of those step-by-step times. So I'm gonna tell you step-by-step what you need to do. So for this W-9, so write this down. You fill out your name. Now it's not your nickname, so if your name is Michael and you go by Mike, you got to put Michael here, okay? It's your government name because this is a government form. So you would do Michael and then whatever. If you go by your middle name, you got to put your real government first name on here. First name, it's best to do first name, middle name, last name, okay? And then step 2, you want to put a check mark here where it says individual/sole proprietor, okay? So put a check there. Step 3, fill out your address. This is the number and street, and if you have an apartment or suite number, city, state, and zip code. So fill that out, okay? And you want to write so incredibly clear on here that I can understand every single letter and number, okay? Because the government and the IRS expect us to do everything perfect. So that's what we have to do, all right? And then the next step is your social security number. And again, write this super, super, super neat, as neat as you can. I don't want to have to guess if it's a 1 or a 7. I don't want to have to guess on numbers, okay? So write it super, super nice and neat, all the numbers. Then the next step is you sign it here, okay? Signature of U.S. person. Sign it there and put a date on it, all right? And then after you do that, you email this to me at the email address on the payroll policy. If you text it to me, I'm going to say, no, you need to email it to me because I keep them all organized in my email. So I can't have some W-9s here and some W-9s there. I need them all in my email. So you only have to email me the first page. So you'll notice over here, there are 6 pages because the government wrote a bunch of extra stuff in there. All right. And you're welcome to read it if you want. If your parents want you to read it, but this is the information that I need. So that's step by step. So here's my email address. So you can either save it as a PDF, or if you printed it out, you can take a picture of it, email it to Cara@otpumpires.com. And this is one of the things that you need to do before you can start working with us. Again, PayPal or check only, PayPal or check only. You must have your arbiter profile filled out. And we'll go over that again in a little bit. Your fees, the fee has changed to $50. We haven't had our website guy update this yet, but the fee is $50, and we deduct that fee from your first payment because you've got to spend money on your uniform and your gear. So we don't want you to have to spend more money on your fees until you work. So we will deduct that from your first payment. And again, if you haven't received PayPal in 10 days or check in 14 days, let me know, okay? Or Jeff. And we do things this way to keep our costs and your fees down and provide the most umpiring opportunities possible. Training. This does not take place of on the field training. You have to have on the field training, but these are several YouTube channels that some of our veteran umpires have given me, and they all have umpire training videos on them. So when you're tempted to go watch TikTok or whatever videos we're watching this week, go watch these and get yourself trained some more. Always be investing in yourself, okay? Not just for this job, but for every job. But this is a good way to invest in yourself in umpiring. New hire info. So if you know somebody else that's interested in umpiring, we're always hiring. So you can either send them this. This is the link to the you click that to go to the link, the application, or here's a QR code. If you have it, they can just scan the QR code right from your phone. Here is the umpire gear information. So the two shirts we require are the Pro Blue and the Pro Black. And down here, you'll see the Pro Blue has the black underneath here and goes underneath here. And the Pro Black has gray underneath the sleeve and underneath the shirt here too. CustomUmp.com has shirts too for $50. I've not seen them this inexpensive anywhere else. This is our friend Stephen Wheeler that owns Custom Ump. And he has a 2-pack for us. Where is it? Right here. So this is what you click right there. Has the Pro Blue and Pro Black in a 2-pack, 2 for $50. And then you just click on your size and you can order those from Stephen Wheeler and he will ship those to you. Another thing that he has done is he has created a hoodie for us. And what's good about this hoodie is you can wear this on the field when it's cold. And on Saturday mornings in the spring and Sunday mornings in the spring, it is cold. Usually you see umpires out there with those umpire jackets on, but Jeff had Steven create this hoodie for us, and you can wear this hoodie instead. So the hoodie is $35. This is what it looks like. It has flags on the sleeves. The back is plain. And then inside the hoodie, it has our logo, okay? So pick you up one of those. I have one myself. It's easy to wash, easy to it doesn't wrinkle easily, and it's a good hoodie. A lot of our umpires are loving that. So check that out as well. Stephen Wheeler will have pants soon. He doesn't have them yet, so don't wait for him unless you need to order pants at a later time. Let's see here. So we're gonna go down here. Shoes. These are just examples of shoes. You do not have to have New Balance. They have to be predominantly black with a little bit of white on them. So you can't wear like a Nike with a red swoosh or an Adidas with a blue logo on it. It has to be black with a little bit of white. This is the plate shoe. It has steel in the toe right here, and it also has this extra padding to protect your foot. These would be the field shoes that you could wear. Again, they don't have to be New Balance, but they can only have black and a little bit of white on them. And you need to keep your shoes nice and clean as well. The pants are called charcoal gray umpire pants. You have to get them hemmed. They come with an unfinished, the bottoms of the legs are unfinished, so you have to get them hemmed, so you can't just pick them up on the way to your first game. The accessories we have, Jeff, where's my hats? Oh, do you have an OTP hat I can borrow? Oh, here's mine. Solid black hat or OTP hat only. Solid black means no logos, no letters. We don't want any conflict of interest. So solid black or OTP. So once you get everything finalized, like your arbiter app, your training, your uniform, I will have a hat available for you to come pick up at my house. But if you happen to have a game before you get a hat, if you can't get over here and get it, then you wear a solid black hat, okay? You get one free complimentary hat for working with us. We either have size small, medium, or large, extra large. If you want additional hats, you can purchase those for $20 each, and we'll be glad just to deduct that fee from your payment, so you don't have to worry about that. We only wear hats facing forward, even if you're behind the plate. If you don't like how it fits behind the plate, they make these hard plastic helmets. They look like a bowl that you can put on your head before you put your mask on when you're behind the plate. Plate gear, you are required to wear a mask, chest protector, and shin guards if you're behind the plate. Yes, even 9U, because you really don't want to take a foul ball off of anything off your body. That's painful. So again, there's the hat, black belt, the plate gear. Here's plate gear. If you are a catcher and you have catcher gear, that will work until you get about up to the middle school, high school levels. You have to have a ball bag, an indicator, and a plate brush. So this is a link to this whole set over here on Amazon. We tried to link everything for you. And this set has the indicator, the ball, the indicator, and the plate brush with it. If you just need that, you have already have your gear and you just need well, come on Amazon. There we go. This is just the bag, the plate brush, and the indicator. So you could do that as well. Let's see. Another uniform provider we have is officialsports.net. It's owned by Barry Steele. He's out in the North Richland Hills area. He's got a brick and mortar store and he carries everything except for the OTP hat. He also has a place down the street where you can get your pants hemmed, an alteration place, and he'll be glad to share that information with you. If you hit them at the right time and they can hem your pants while you wait, takes them 20 to 30 minutes. There's a Whataburger right down the street. So you can go have Whataburger while you're waiting on your pants to be hemmed. All right. Okay, and then custom ump, here's Stephen Wheeler's information. Wheeler is a very busy man. He has this 40-hour-a-week job. He runs custom ump. He's an umpire. He volunteers for a league over by where he lives. So if you have trouble getting a hold of him, let me know, because sometimes he does run out of shirts. He's had a huge he's been just massively busy this year because of all the umpire shirts that umpires across the Metroplex have ordered from him. So be patient with him and holler at me if you need help getting in touch with him. Here is our contact information again for me and Jeff. And there's Jared there. Jared is our son and he helps us out with Arbiter occasionally. So if there's something in Arbiter that Jeff and I can't figure out, then we'll help you get in touch with Jared. But there is our information. Okay, and here is Arbiter. So let me show you the app in the App Store. So when you pull it up, let me pull it up here. When you pull it up, you're gonna see two Arbiter apps, okay? You're gonna see one with a gray A and a red S. That's the correct app, okay? Gray A, red S. See that right there? Arbiter Mobile, gray A, red S. This is the correct one. You're also going to see this one. This is not the correct app. It's the gray A and red S, okay? Arbiter Mobile, that's the correct app. That's the app you want to download, all right? Now, you do not have an account. I set up your account on my end. And the reason that I have set it up on my end is because I connect you with our OTP group, because there are a lot of assigners for all different sports that use Arbiter. It's not just us. So I will link you to our organization, and then I will have Arbiter send you a text. And when they send you a text, you can get into your account, you can create your password and get all signed in. So when I have the Arbiter email sent to you, I will also send you a text saying, okay, you should have that email by now, so that you don't have to sit around looking for the email. Now you also have to go to training before you get before we set your Arbiter account up, okay? So when we set your Arbiter account up, this is what you're going to get. And you want to sign in on a computer. It's just much easier to do the setup on a computer, okay? And we're going to go, this is going to be another one of those step-by-step things. So write down all these steps. So when you get your Arbiter account, you've got your password and you sign in on a computer, the first thing you want to do is your profile. So you click profile, and I'm going to ask you to get this all done within 24 hours of when you receive your Arbiter email, okay? Now, this is what your profile is going to look like. It's going to have your name. Make sure your name is spelled correctly, because as I'm entering people, if I misspell your name for some reason, I can't change it on my end. That's something that you would have to change on your end, okay? So it's going to have, so the first step is make sure your name is spelled correctly. And then it's going to have your email address. And that should be correct because that's how you get the email from Arbiter. And then when you see phone numbers, I'm going to, let me change mine because this is mine. So, okay, when you get down to phone number, this is what it's going to look like. You're going to say, well, how am I supposed to enter my phone number? You click the green X or the green plus over here. So write that down. You click the green plus, and then this is going to show up right here. Okay. And you put your phone number in, and then you want to come over here and it's probably a cell, and carrier doesn't matter. And you want to, and then the next step is to click the public box. And what this does is if you have a partner, if you're scheduled with a partner and this public box is clicked, your partner is going to be able to see your phone number. Because a lot of times I get a call from people say, hey, I can't see my partner's phone number. I'm like, oh, because they didn't click the public box. So I have to go in, click the public box, get back with them, say, now you should see it. So just save us all that trouble, okay? Just go ahead and click the public box right there. Be sure it's checked. All right. Now, down here where it says address, each star has to be filled in. Okay, the field next to it has to be filled in. So you want to put your address. You want to put your city. So that's next, address and city. Country's already going to be there. Texas is already going to be there. And then postal code. You're going to have to put your postal code in. So write that down, postal code. That's also your zip code. I don't know why they say postal code, but it's zip code. Okay, some guys have said, hey, Cara, I can't get my Arbiter profile to save, and it's because they didn't put their zip code in. So put your zip code in where it says postal code. All right, these next four, leave them blank. Don't put anything in there. Nothing in official number, nothing in social security number, nothing in business name, and nothing in EIN. All four of these need to stay blank. All right. Then when you get to date of birth, please, please, please put your birthday in. I'm going to tell you a short little story about why that's so important. We just hired 3 new Tylers, 3 of them. I got a call from 14-year-old Tyler the other day. Hey, Cara, Jeff scheduled me on a high school game and I've never even umpired before. Oh, well, that's because we also have a Tyler that's in his 40s that we meant to put on that, but we accidentally put the 14-year-old Tyler on that. So we went through and switched it and that was fine. But if we have your birthday in, we can remember if you're the 14-year-old Tyler or the 40-year-old Tyler or whatever your name is, the 40-year-old or the 14-year-old version, okay? So please, that birthday is really helpful. Then your last step, this is probably the most important. Click save. Click save, click save, click save. Because I have to go in here and I have to check and I have to make sure everybody fills out their profiles. And I can't tell you how many times I say, hey, I text someone, hey, you haven't filled out your profile. Yes, I did. Well, okay, no, you didn't. Here is a screenshot of it saying it's not filled out. Well, yes, I did. Okay, well, you probably didn't click save. Okay, so click save. Because if you don't click save, as far as I'm concerned, you just didn't even fill out your profile. All right. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to set up your calendar. And the way you do that is you click blocks. So click blocks up here at the top. And now this is a lot of stuff you need to write down as well. Okay. A lot more steps that we have here. I am going to clear out a little bit here because this is my calendar. Now, I really don't get to have blocks. So they're just in here because I show everybody how to do it. I don't get any days off. Okay. Gosh, it didn't happen again. Jeff, I don't know why it's not doing that right. Let me just clear my blocks one at a time. So if you need to clear your blocks, you click clear blocks. See all these days I have red, all those are blocked, meaning I can't work. So you click, like, let's say you were supposed to go to the lake on March 30th and that got canceled. You want to clear blocks and click it. Now, if it's only a couple of days before March 30th that you do that, you want to text Jeff. You want to say, hey, Jeff, great news. I am now available all day Saturday because my trip to the lake got canceled. And if he has anything available, he'll put you on it. If not, he'll remember that you said you could work. So if something comes up in the next couple days, some coach calls him last minute or whatever, that he'll remember that you are available. Okay. So I'm going to clear the rest of my blocks. That's how you clear them. Okay. So let's say you have tutoring on Thursday afternoon on the 7th. So you're going to click block all day. 7th. Block. There you go. So that's tutoring and Jeff won't schedule you. Now, do you have to block every day that you go to school? No, you don't. We know you go to school. We know the handful of people that can work daytime games if they come up. So that's not a problem. If you want to block part of a day, so let's say on April the 9th, or I'm sorry, on March 9th, it's your aunt's 50th birthday party. So you need to be off the field by 4 because you got to take a shower because your aunt won't appreciate it if you don't take a shower. So you want to block from 4 until just late at night because your aunt likes to party late. So you're going to block until 11:45 on the 9th. There you go. Now your aunt will be very happy that you blocked her time. All right. There we go. If you need to block a whole section, let's say you're going on vacation, you're going to say block all day. You're going to say March 29th through March 31st. You click apply and it blocks those 3 days. Okay. Now, but you've got to have plenty of time to work. So you need to have plenty of time during the week. Most of your Saturdays and Sundays, you need to be available all day. Just so, because we have a lot of coverage, and just so we have plenty of umpires available. That is very necessary. Okay. So does anybody, if you have any questions about this calendar, anybody? Everybody good? Because I know this is very specific. And all right. So let's go back to, see, this is what always gets me is the screen sharing. Here we go. Stop share. Okay. Now, who has questions? I don't see any in the chat. So if you have a question, you can just take yourself off of mute and ask away. And usually I get lots of questions, so go ahead and ask. Nobody has a question? Nobody's going to ask about the pay? Anybody want to know about the pay? Yeah? Okay, so the pay is, it averages out to about $25 an hour. So the coach pitch games are $25 to $30 a game. Okay. And the games, it depends on if they're an hour or a little bit longer than an hour. Okay. The kid pitch games are $45 to $55 a game. And that depends on the time limit, whether it's a tournament or rec, different things like that. The high school games, which you need quite a bit of experience to do the high school games for the local high schools and the private schools, those are even more than $55 a game because they're longer and they go by different rules, and taps and UIL is all involved in that. So those are higher paying games as well. Okay. All right. What else? Anybody else? No? Okay. So just be sure that you have plenty of availability. Like I said, if you have any questions about that, let me know. I've had a couple of guys fill out their calendars on Arbiter, and after they filled out their calendars, we've decided together that this is not for them. I had some guys that are only available like half days on Saturdays, and that just doesn't work. I had one guy that was available like every other Monday and a couple of Sundays. That doesn't work. So be sure you have a lot of availability in your calendar. And if you've got a question about that, you can ask me about that. Okay. All right. Well, if nobody has any more questions, are you sure? All right. Well, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. Thank you for joining us tonight.